How's it going, guys? Well, now this time we got some confetti, so let's make it a little bit fun. All right, so this is Mauricio once again, and today is December the 17th. It's been a while since I did the last breakdown, which was USD CAD. Let's go ahead and recap that real quick. USD CAD. It was a phenomenal trade. It was a 55-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Let's go ahead and go back to it so that way you guys can see the full setup when it comes to this pair itself. So we actually entered off of the 1 minute for USD CAD. And I'm going to go over another pair, which is USD CHF, so that way you guys can take an advantage that entry. And it's going to be very similar to USD CAD, just not the same risk when it comes to 0.05 pips. Now, we risked way less. Our drawdown was way less, but our risk was 0.05 on this trade itself. So a little quick recap. We were able to get this point of entry right here. We had played pending orders, and I sent the video before this happened. So moving a little bit forward, you may see that we were able to enter on that sell limit, and many would consider this at a 0.01 drawdown. In reality, it was more like the broker was able to get me in because of the spread I had, right? So luckily I was able to get in on that trade, and it went straight to take profit. You can clearly see that the market, yes, it did kind of vary a little bit. It came up directly to about 7 pips, then came back down to 0.6 pips, and then finally came back up and smashed that take profit, which was a 27, almost 28 pip take profit, which led us to a 55-to-1. Okay, 55-to-1 risk reward. That's phenomenal. Okay, now you may see the market came, hit take profit, and then just dropped. Right, good, perfect. We got that trade going. Now let's go over to the next one, which is USD CHF, and it's gonna be pretty much the same concept. Only on this aspect, I am seeing that I had a daily point of interest over here because we had a gap happening on the daily time frame over here. As you may see, we have a gap right here happening, and that is why I took in consideration this candle specifically. My 50% is around in this area, and I saw the market strongly push into downside, so that's the reason why I started looking a bit closer on the lower time frame. We can clearly see that the market pushed rapidly, and this right here, you could consider this as equal lows. Market dropped drastically to this area and then started stalling, right? Started stalling on the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, you're actually able to view that this right here was considered as a potential equal lows on even lower time frame like the M15. Okay, so let's go to the M15 or even the M30. You'll be able to see these equal lows. M15, you'll be able to see a lot better. So this is what happens when you got to transition from bigger time frames to lower time frames. Right here, we're transitioning to lower time frames so we can get better entries. Okay, so moving forward, you have these equal lows over here, and you'll be able to see on M5 and M1, they look a lot better. Probably right there, you're just seeing some type of candle variation, but they're equal lows. Okay, now going over here, we have our point of interest, and as you may see, I was taking in consideration, okay, what my M5 time frame. So we go over to our M5 time frame. I'm taking consideration this big push to downside before we rapid move to the upside, engulfing all these candles over here, which made my analysis valid. Therefore, I took entry positions right over here, which is exactly where I entered alongside with my Discord community. So if you guys are not part of the Discord community, I recommend you guys to be so. We go ahead and put our own analysis in here. Everybody's very interactive, very fun. You may see other people taking profits, gaining profit, and so on. So I recommend you to go ahead and click on that link. It's on the description below. It says free Discord group. Go ahead and click on it, and you'll be able to access to it as well. So moving forward, now we're able to get this entry right here. Now, is there a better entry over here? Of course there is. 1 minute time frame. We're going to scale down to 1 minute time frame. Now, taking consideration, this one right here is only a 4.5 pip drawdown of stop loss I have. We've only gone about, let's say, we've only had about a 3 pip drawdown. Okay, going down to lower time frame where you can have that re-entry for a better entry. Okay, now it kind of already happened right now, but what you can potentially do, or you can potentially see, is this candle right here. Okay, is the last candle before these equal lows were vanished. We had big push of momentum to the downside, a big push to the upside, taking out that liquidity, push back down, creating imbalance zone in this area. Therefore, this right here was our point of interest. Now, can it come back down over here and then spike up? Of course it can, but it's not that much of a difference. It's only about 1 or 2 pips, so might as well take the trade where it's at currently at the moment. And it's currently very, very similar to where our previous trade was located. So I'm gonna go ahead and just delete this real quick so that way you guys can have a clear vision. And what this would look like, okay, it would look something like this. if you were to place this trade, it would be right underneath this spring. Okay, this last candle over here, you don't need to put that much, so that's a 2.5 pip drawdown, and our take profit can immediately go to 11 pips, which is a 5-to-1 risk reward, or even on the 1 hour, which is our overall bias to go into, would be the 1 hour target. Okay, now understand that the lower time frame is just for entries and the bigger time frame for targets. So I'm gonna go ahead and fulfill this imbalance zone right here, which is a 23 pip take profit, which leads us to a 9-to-1 risk reward, potentially even 10-to-1. So we rounded up to 10-to-1. That's perfect at 98227, and it's rounding up right next to that imbalance zone, so that would be perfect. And that is what I'm looking for USD CHF. A 2.5 pip take stop loss. We round this up. Let's go ahead and round it up to 60 right there. Should be 2.7, and we round this up to 25 to quarters. So if you may know, I do half and quarter theory alongside with full numbers as well. So right here, this is leaving it to 8-to-1 risk reward. You can go ahead and put it a little bit higher for 10-to-1, but 8-to-1 is phenomenal. It's perfect. Risk is 2.5 pips drawdown. If it hits our stop loss, no problem. It hit our stop loss, and we go on to the next one. But there's always time for perfection when it comes to perfecting your entries. Okay, we have a bullish engulfing. Well, it's not bullish engulfing because it's not overcoming 2 candles, but it's an engulfing candle. Okay, so we have an engulfing candle right there. It's helping us to understand that there's movement in the market. Another reason why I'm taking this trade specifically is because we have divergence. Okay, so divergence is on our side when it comes to understand that the market is pushing to the upside over here, and we have clearly been pushing to downside. So that's another confirmation. And I'll be talking about divergence on the next video, which I'll be uploading tomorrow. So stay tuned for tomorrow's video. I'll be talking a little bit about divergence and how to take that in consideration for more qualified trades, so that way you don't have to be 24/7 behind your chart. So with that said, hope you guys enjoyed this class, this session. That is USD CHF, and I'll see you guys on the next one.